Hello, this is your favorite YouTuber Lorenzo, and you're watching KSP to Mars episode 10. After the previous episode's large rockets, today we are launching what is called a sounding rocket. Well, it has nothing to do with sound. A sounding rocket is a rocket that is never designed to go orbital or even much suborbital. Well, it is going suborbital. Basically, it has a science payload, peaks up out of the atmosphere, spends a few minutes in space at most, and then lands so that the instruments or the data may be recovered. And this is exactly what we're trying today. It's a principle used in real life by many scientists and universities, space agencies, you name it. This is used because a rocket that just goes up and peaks out of the atmosphere is orders of magnitude cheaper and smaller than a full-fledged orbital rocket, which, well, if you saw last episode, you will agree with. Today's rocket is a simple three-stage affair. The first stage, the boosters, has just fallen off. We have a 4-tank, 3-column second stage that's burning now, and as a last stage we have 3 tanks and 3 smaller engines. Now, tucked away on top of this small upper stage is another experimental piece of kit. It is a tricoupler with 3 heat shields. We've been having some difficulties with making stuff re-enter safely, and I've designed this in order to provide an extra buffer against the heat. Well, I've got some serious doubts as to whether it will work or not, because between the 3 heat shields the tricoupler is still exposed, so it could just burn up, or maybe it's far too heavy to be effective, but perhaps it will work. For now, there's not a lot else to say. Obviously, we have the goo canister and also a materials base, so we can get some science from space. We're just going to fire straight up until we're out of the atmosphere, do the science, and then re-enter as good as straight down. I'm going to cut the video ahead to the point where we are in space and we're heading back down again, so you don't have to wait the 10-15 minutes that will take. So, see you there. Here we are. We're still heading up, and the stage isn't completely burnt out yet, but as soon as I saw that the periapsis was going pretty high, I cut the engines and ditched the plan of testing the heat shield, where instead we will be descending on the rockets. First out the science, 25 or so points. It's hard to see in the small editing window. This is a post commentary. Getting all the science points, of course, the goo we already had from space, so that doesn't add so much, but we get a good 20-30 points from the materials bay. Now, what I was saying is that we will re-enter with the engines facing down, and not just facing down, but also firing. Using this technique, we reduce the amount of speed that has to be scrubbed by the atmosphere, which makes the re-entry safer. And since we are in dire need of science points, this takes precedence over testing the heat shield. So we will be gently putting this craft down. Maybe if we have enough fuel we can even soft land it on the engines, but for now a gentle re-entry will suffice. So I will shut up for a second, accelerate the video a little bit, and show you how that goes. So here we are coming down to land, separating the engine, and now deploying the parachute. So now we have an unpowered, parachute saved, parachute supported science platform that's gently floating down to the surface. Now this takes a long time. I'm just accelerating 4 times and taking care to reduce that acceleration just before touchdown. If this goes well, we will have some science points for the first time since a while, and they are more than welcome. So let us see what happens. Nothing much can go wrong, but that has not been the case in the preceding episodes of this space program. We land on the discarded engine stage, which apparently survived as well, and we are now recovering the vessel for a very handsome 22.7 science points. Great. Now, we're heading straight back to the launch pad to test this same rocket again, but this time with the intention of testing that heat shield. So load up the sounding rocket again and launch it again. Let's see, here we have it on the pad. Go on. Egging on the computer to load here. So here it is, and the next bit will be very similar to the beginning of the episode. So if you forgot what this rocket looked like launching, I recommend you rewind and then skip back to this part, because I'm not going to show it to you again, something for which I'm sure you will be grateful. So I'll see you in a bit. And here we are with the rocket, well, the probe now, plummeting back to the planet. We basically expended all the rocket fuel going up and then let gravity do its part coming down. As said before, we have the 3-part heat shield, well, the triple heat shields under the tri-coupler, and the science payload now serves as nothing but ballast, because, let's face it, we've got these readings, there is no added value in bringing them back again. So here we have the heat shields heating up to 600-700 degrees, rapidly heating, and we have a strong deceleration of about 10 Gs now, 1300 degrees, and now cooling again. So for a re-entry speed of slamming down straight into the atmosphere at 2 kilometers per second, these heat shields work. Not sure if this is a very useful measurement, because it's a very specific scenario, and if we're going to come back from orbit, something we still haven't managed safely, that speed will be on the order of 7 kilometers per second, a good 3 times faster, even more, 3.5 times faster than this, and we will be going through the atmosphere a fair bit longer, but not as steep. So for a first trial, this is marginally successful. I'm not quite sure I'm going to be using the tri-coupler triple heat shield combo, because altogether it is rather heavy. Well, the parachutes are deploying now, and they will waft the craft back down. No science points for this, just the verification of our harebrained heat shield scheme. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. There's not a lot more to come in this episode. Of course, there will be many more episodes in which we chronicle our hopeful journey to Mars. Well, the journey isn't so hopeful, but hopefully we'll be making the journey to Mars. You get what I mean. Thanks for watching. If you are a subscriber already, thanks for being a subscriber. You're awesome. Consider telling your friends or some stranger on the street that there is an amazing video series out there, and I always welcome more subscribers. Everyone is very well received here. So, what I'm trying to say is hit all those buttons: like, subscribe, comment, share. You know the works. Thanks for watching. See you for the next episode. This was Lorenzo. Goodbye.